Everywhere you look right now, someone has a program. The 12-week shred, the 8-week summer body, the 30-day fat loss challenge. Everyone has a plan. And people jump in excited, motivated, checking the box, dreaming about their dream body. Workout done, shakeout done, steps done. Until life happens. Work gets crazy, you travel, you miss a week, you get sick, and suddenly you're off the workout train again. Which is why so many people feel like they're either on the program or completely off of it. But here's the truth. The people who actually stay lean and strong long term, they're not constantly restarting programs on it or off it. They understand the principles behind them, which means when life gets messy, which it does, they adjust. They can still stick with it. They know how to walk into a gym and train. They know how to build meals that support their goals. They're not on or off. They're not just checking boxes. It's not all or nothing for them. They understand the blueprint. So today, we're building that blueprint. The 2026 framework for getting shredded and strong, not just for 8 weeks, but for life. Let's get into it. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to break down the exact 3 pillars that actually make body recomposition work. Training, how to lift so your body builds muscle instead of burning it. Nutrition, how to lose fat without tanking your metabolism. And recovery, the part almost everyone ignores that determines whether your body actually adapts. Because fat loss and muscle gain aren't magic, they're physiology. And when you understand the physiology, the process becomes way more predictable and controllable. By the end of this video, you should be able to write your own weekly, monthly, and lifelong blueprint. Here's what most people do when they want to lose fat. They start running, they start doing more cardio classes, they cut calories aggressively, they stop lifting weights, which is basically like trying to renovate a house by selling the furniture and knocking down the walls. Sure, technically, things are changing, but not in a helpful direction. Muscle is the most metabolically active tissue in your body. I think we've all heard that before. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that during weight loss, up to 25% of weight lost can be lean muscle mass if resistance training and protein intake aren't adequate. That is not good. 25%. Meaning people will lose weight, but they lose muscle too, which slows metabolism, which makes fat loss harder, which leads to weight regain. And then people blame themselves instead of the strategy or their hormones. They're just not meant to lose that weight. Fat loss isn't about doing more cardio. It's about building a body that burns more energy all the time. And the biggest driver of that, stay with me, muscle. Which brings us to the blueprint. Pillar 1, training. The first pillar is obviously strength training. Not random workouts, not circuits that feel like cardio with dumbbells, not junk volume, actual strength training. Progressive strength training. Because muscle growth happens in response to mechanical tension, lifting challenging loads through full range of motion. And this is where progressive overload comes in. Progressive overload simply means your body has to be challenged slightly more over time. Your body is incredibly efficient. Thanks, body. If you give it the exact same stimulus every week, it adapts once and then it stops changing. Research by Brad Schoenfeld in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research shows that progressive overload is the primary driver of hypertrophy, aka muscle growth. Meaning your muscles grow when they're consistently asked to do slightly more than last time. That could be more weight, more reps, better control, more total volume. But the key point is progress. Now let's just real quick clear up another myth. The idea that you should lift light weights with high reps to tone. Listen, muscle doesn't know the word tone. Muscle responds to tension and effort. What people call toned is simply muscle plus lower body fat, which means you need to lift heavy enough that your muscles actually have a reason to grow. The little pink dumbbells aren't cutting it for 50 reps while watching the TV in the gym without even breaking a sweat or getting winded. Speaking of winded, let's talk about cardio. Cardio absolutely has a place. Of course it does. But it's not the main driver of fat loss. Cardio is a supporting tool, not the main character. It's Robin to strength training's Batman. Strength training builds the engine. Cardio helps burn a little extra fuel. The hierarchy looks like this: nutrition, strength training, daily movement, or NEAT, cardio. Cardio matters, just not as much as people think. So here's how to structure your workouts. First, decide how often you can realistically train. Not your fantasy schedule, your real schedule. What do we always say? Consistency over intensity. If you train 3 days per week, use a split like total body, upper body, lower body. If you train 4 days a week, use a split like upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. Try to hit the muscle groups twice a week. But here's something important. 4 days is not automatically better. 3 days done consistently is infinitely better than planning for 4 and then falling off completely and being off the program again. Whatever split you choose, stick with it for at least 12 weeks before changing anything. 12 weeks. Consistency drives adaptation. Consistency is what creates progress. Now let's talk about movement patterns. Instead of memorizing workouts, understand movement patterns. Lower body patterns would be a squat pattern, a hinge pattern, a lunge pattern. Upper body patterns would be horizontal push, horizontal pull, vertical push, vertical pull. Core patterns would be anti-extensions like planks, anti-rotations like power press, anti-lateral flexion like suitcase carries. Each workout should include 4 to 6 exercises depending on volume. Example of a lower body day would be squats, Romanian deadlifts, walking lunges, glute bridges, and core. Example of an upper body day would be like bench press, row, overhead press, pull up or pull down, and accessory shoulders. Total body pulls from both. If you want to watch my video on the best exercises for compound lifts, I break it down in more detail. So how do you actually apply this? Let's break it down simply. Step 1, choose your weekly training split. Open your calendar, decide realistically 3 days or 4 days. For example, Monday could be upper body, Tuesday could be lower body, Wednesday could be a walk or active recovery, Thursday you're back at upper body, Friday you're back at lower body. Or if you're training 3 days, Monday could be total, Wednesday could be upper, Friday could be lower. I think you get the point. Step 2, track progressive overload. Bring a notebook or app. Whatever your system is, write it down. The exercise, the weight, the reps, the sets. For example, squat at 95 pounds for 8 reps. Then next week, aim for 95 pounds for 9 to 10 reps or 100 pounds for 8 reps. Small progress compounds. And step 3, add cardio strategically. Add 2 to 3 sessions of cardio per week. The best options are 30 to 45 minute walks on an incline treadmill or cycling or rowing, not necessarily running or jogging. Cardio should support recovery, not leave you exhausted. Pillar 2, nutrition. Now let's talk about food, because this is where fat loss plans quietly fall apart. Most people dramatically underestimate how much they eat, even if they're eating clean or healthy. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has shown that people can underestimate intake by 20 to 50%, which means someone might believe they're eating 1,800 calories when they're actually eating 24 calories. Again, including healthier, clean food. That is why logging food can be incredibly helpful. Not forever, but long enough to understand portions. The goal isn't starvation. The goal is a moderate calorie deficit. Research published in the International Journal of Obesity suggests a deficit of around 300 to 500 calories per day, and protein is the anchor. I have a whole video on this. A meta-analysis in the British Journal of Sports and Medicine in 2018 found higher protein intake during resistance training significantly increases muscle gain, which improves your metabolism and the overall calorie expenditure. So step 1, calculate your protein target. Body weight in pounds times 0.8 to 1 gram. So if you're 150 pounds, that'd be 120 to 150 grams of protein, split across meals. Step 2, build meals around whole foods. Structure meals around protein, vegetables or fiber, carbs, and healthy fats. Make them real foods. Examples would be chicken, roasted vegetables, sweet potatoes, olive oil. Whole foods make it far easier to stay within calorie targets. And step 3, track intake, at least temporarily. Use an app for 2 to 3 weeks. Learn, build the skill, not forever, but as you need it. Just long enough to understand portions, calories, protein intake. Then you can transition into intuitive structure until you need it again. I come back to it frequently. And pillar 3, recovery. Now we get to the pillar almost nobody respects: recovery. Most people think recovery just means not working out or just lounging on the couch. But recovery is actually an active biological process. Your body repairs tissues, rebuilds muscles, rebalances hormones and adapts to training stress. Sleep is the most powerful part, yes, but recovery isn't just sleep. It also includes active recovery, movement that promotes circulation and healing, walking, mobility, light cycling. This helps nutrients reach muscles and remove waste products from training. So step 1, build a consistent sleep routine. I have a whole video on this too. Aim for 7 to 9 hours nightly. Go to bed and wake up within the same window. Circadian rhythm matters. Step 2, schedule active recovery. Add daily walking, mobility work, light movement days. Examples would be things like 8 to 10,000 steps a day, 10 minutes of mobility after workouts, or on your recovery days. And step 3, manage stress. High stress elevates cortisol, which can impair fat loss. Things that can help would be walking outdoors, breathing exercises, journaling, reducing screen exposure before bed. Here's the real game changer. You ready? The people who stay lean long-term don't constantly chase programs. They understand the principles, which means when life gets messy, as it always does, they adjust. They don't quit. They simply return to the blueprint or fit it into their daily life. So here's the 2026 blueprint. You ready? Strength train with progressive overload, protein and whole foods, recovery, no gimmicks, just physiology applied consistently. And when people follow this approach, something interesting happens. They don't just get smaller, they get stronger, leaner, and more capable, and their identity changes, which is the entire point. So if you found this helpful, hit subscribe because I break down the science of strength, fat loss, and longevity every week in a way that we can apply to daily life so we understand the blueprint and we're not just on a program or off. Drop a comment and tell me what's your biggest fitness challenge right now, and then watch my next video where I break down the best compound exercises to build muscle and burn fat in a progressive way. I'll see you there.